Check out our hot deals on fishing, hunting, and shooting gear during Cabela's summer clearance. Get your family ready for a day on the water with 40% off all in-stock adult and youth flotation vests and savings on rods, reels, and tackle. Upgrade your optics to a Vortex with $500 off their Razor HD spotting scope and $80 off their Crossfire 2 rifle scope. Plus, we've got savings on select ammo and reloading accessories. There's something for everybody during Cabela's summer clearance going on now.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
Jimmy Mack is a renowned medical intuitive and spiritual life coach who has taken, completed, and even mastered a variety of healing modalities. After a near-death experience, he was shown and developed a simpler way to create healing and profound changes, now known as My Liquid Fish. He works with clients in person, on the phone, and over Skype worldwide, accessing energetic powers and co-creating changes that you can actually feel. Call in now to reserve your spot on the switchboard. The call-in number is 713-955-0594. Press 1 if you would like to ask Jimmy Mack a question. Enjoy this 1 hour of profound healing.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Mack coming to you live out of Florida. Hope you're doing great and enjoying this 4th of July. I don't need to tell you what it's like. Most places it's winter and winter's coming. But for the Clearwater, St. Pete, Tampa, west coast of Florida, it's always summer and summer's coming. So we're the ones that have the 80-degree Christmas days. But now is the time when it's like the swamp outside. So my cousin is so funny. She's a nurse in Tallahassee, and she had posted on her Facebook, her meme was that she loves the 4th of July because she doesn't have to buy presents. She doesn't have to go to church, and she can just drive around with a lighter and a trunk full of explosives. So I just thought that was so cute and redneckish in the middle of nowhere. God love her, and, it's all good. So, and special thanks to our military and everybody, of course, and we know what today is about, at least in the great USA. And special thanks to my son, who's part of special operations, and so he always says, Dad, you're better off not knowing all the stuff that goes on, and he's right about that, and he's a helicopter pilot for Black Ops, so there you go. So we love you, we miss you, we know you're doing well, and our thoughts and prayers are with you, and protection and production forward always. So very happy to be here live with everybody today on this special, just another Tuesday to a lot of us, of course. And if you run 7 days a week like me, I love that Grant Cardone says, if you know what day it is, you're just not busy enough. And I about have to write down what day it is. I'm sure Reverend Tiffany does too, our producer, and Sandy Bittinger, who supports me, and social media, and everybody that's in the support team that makes Jimmy Mack Healing look so good. So thank you all for that. Your other ironic laugh of the day is we've had so much volume hitting our website lately, that's down. So divinematrixhealing.org is up. That's a Google site. That's got all my information on it too. It's divinhealingmatrix.org. So if you need to get a hold of me, you can still email me, info@jimmymackhealing.com. We went about the Macks that GoDaddy has, find the irony in that, and we're just getting so much response that it's really quite funny to me. But it's all in forward motion and progress. So how cool is that? The first thing the support guy at GoDaddy asked me, he goes, did you go viral? I love that. So that made me laugh. So anyway, the other great news is on the 4th of July, we put together, it's coming out tomorrow, come rain or come shine. We'll put in a different link if the site won't handle the volume. How funny is that? And it's all about abuse. So we created an abuse audio MP3. and it's all about freeing you from abuse. It's only about 30 minutes long. You could work on it for yourself. You could listen to it and make it for mom, dad, family, anybody that you know is going through an abusive time or has abuse. I don't know anybody, folks, that hasn't gone through some form of abuse in all their emotional life, school, work, romantic relationships, money, the boss, holy moly, real estate transactions gone wrong, whatever it is. If you've lived, you've experienced some abuse. I know we all have. So anyway, we appreciate that. That's launching tomorrow. If you haven't reached out to us and you aren't on the once-a-week email newsletter, it's all free, by the way. We don't solicit you for anything, and we don't sell our list ever. It's info@jimmymackhealing.com. So you're going to want to get on that. We send out free comics and audio and video and free ebooks and all kinds of stuff. Hey, it's all free if I didn't mention that already. So we're excited. Every week we go out of our way to really have somebody different on the show and exciting and new and unusual. We want you guys to learn something as well as, enjoy the show and call in now, for readings, for healings, for what have you. So we're excited everybody's here. Today our special guest is Leah Guy. Yes, that's actually a woman. And Leah is an intuitive transpersonal healer, spiritual teacher, professional speaker, and media personality. She offers wisdom from a lifetime of personal triumphs and more than 22 years helping clients transform their lives from fear and disconnection to heart-centered, soulful living. That's a mouthful. That's awesome. She's a sought-after inspirational speaker who's appeared on numerous television and radio shows on topics such as meditation, mind-body connection, energy medicine, intuition, and addiction. That's near and dear to my heart. We'll get into that too, as well as emotional and spiritual healing. Also known as the Modern Sage, she owns Modern Sage Healing Center and product line, and a Girl Named Guy Productions, LLC. That's awesome. And Lee lives in Jersey City, New Jersey, and the website is modernsage.com. It's MODERNSAGE. Her publicist sent me The Fearless Path. That's her new book. It's entitled A Radical Awakening to Emotional Healing and Inner Peace. How cool is that? Hey, Leah Guy, are you there? Yeah, good. How are you? Welcome to the show. We're so happy to talk to you today on this celebratory day.
It is. It's great to be here today. Thanks so much.
Oh, you bet. You bet. And I love agirlnamedguy.com too. That's sweet. So
yeah, everyone remembers that for sure.
Right? I love that. So was your dad expecting a boy, or he was just grumpy, or what?
No, well, the Guy name, it's really French. It's Guy originally. So over here we call it Guy, but no, I was lucky enough they gave me the feminine enough name of Leah to get it started with anyway. So
I love it. I love it. Well, one of my favorite grandchildren is a gorgeous white blonde hair, blue-eyed little 3-year-old monster named Charlie. So if you don't think she's going to be a heartbreaker, so I get it.
Oh,
I get it.
Yeah.
So it's all good. Tell folks how to get a hold of you also, and then let's chat about the Fearless Path.
Sure. Well, my website, like you said, is Modern Sage or leahguy.com, and the book is available Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Target, all online, or in stores, healing stores, Barnes & Noble, and so forth. So you can find me there or online. Yep.
Love it. Okay. What's your favorite thing, Leah Guy? I mean, you deal a lot in addiction. You deal in people wanting to know their future by Christmas, romantic stuff, all across the board. What's up?
My favorite thing. Well, I really love helping people release this idea of, the first part of my book kind of debunks the whole idea of letting go and detachment emotionally. So I work with a lot of people from all kinds of backgrounds, but, they come to a place of like just needing something different to happen in their life, and I love helping them turn that, what I call like the transformational corner. It's acceptance. It's looking at their own stuff. It's, busting through some of that really baseline fear and anxiety and just seeing their life different, and that's true for anything that's going on, whether it's addiction or trauma or, other disorders or what have you. So that's really what turns me on about the work I do, is when I see somebody that really gets it.
Yeah. I had a nurse this week, and in 90 days, her whole life's changed. Lost weight, just has a whole nother outlook on life, and she was checking her bank account 3 times a day on the screen, and just really kind of trends, or at least symptoms towards ADD, ADHD, OCD kind of stuff, and it's all gone. So how cool is that? But and I know, they got to do the work too. We can only kind of be the guidepost. I love that tarot card. It's the hermit, and he's holding up the little lantern. That reminds me of me. It's like you and I are going to show them the light, but boy, they got to do the work, or play, as it were. I'm big on love lately. I'm like, I love you, and okay, love, and people about pass out when you say that. They're not overly comfortable with love, right? And my sons are both big as a door, and I hug and kiss all over them every time I see them. I don't care what anybody thinks, you know what I mean? I just love them, and their wives and grandchildren, same thing. But I'm big on love lately, and going out of our way to just, like you said, it's so profound. In your first chapter, you talk about it, but just being more accepting of others instead of, damn it, change to make things better for me. It's like, no, this is pretty much how they are. you know? You can present a little change, but it's up to them to pick it up and run with it, right?
Right, yeah. It is amazing. It's amazing how many people try to block love, and they don't even... I get it. Love hurts sometimes, and we think it's just all supposed to feel rosy, and it does at some way and in some time, but then there's always going to be another time too when it hurts, and the loss comes, or the upset or whatever, and so people get so afraid of it. But yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Love it. Well said. Hey, we'll take a caller and mix it up a little bit. 248, you're on live. Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Shanika calling from Georgia.
Hi. What did you say your name was, honey?
Shanika.
Shanika? Okay. Do you have a question for Lee?
Yes, I do. I have a lump in my breast. I'm going for my appointment soon. I just been kind of nervous about it, and just wanted to see if you see anything intuitively.
Yeah, a lump in your breast.
Mm-hmm.
Are you asking for Jimmy or for me? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
We'll start with you, love. It's fine.
Okay.
Anything
okay.
you pick up on, I'll be glad
to. Is it in your right breast, hon, or is it in your is it in your right breast?
Yes, my right one.
Yes. I think there's a lot of. I work a lot on the energetic aspects of things, and is it on the upper, like kind of the right side of the right breast?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it feels like there's a lot of stored emotional grief that's going on. That's been almost like from a throat chakra, kind of heart chakra combination of repressed emotion, if you will. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So I don't know if you may have to get a little testing done. It doesn't feel to me like it's a complete serious issue, but it's always serious when we have something abnormal going on. But I would start now with working on a little self massage around the whole area, just in a tender kind of way, but in massaging not just the physical self, but some of that old emotional grief that's coming up. I don't know. Is it your father that this is related to?
A lot of different things, actually. My father, he was murdered when I was 16. So.
Yeah, that's where, to me, it feels like it started. It feels like it started with the grief and this shock kind of the father. And so as you're working with this massage, with the self-love, the self-care, and moving with that, start working with softening some of that deeper emotional stuff underneath the lump, and trying to soften it a little bit. Also, just physically, I'm a big proponent of keeping the physical body as balanced as possible. This is our house, so being mindful of what you take in and so forth, especially like, sugars and processed foods and things like that. Those things tend to help get us more stuck and more trapped and give us that kind of gooey energy, around things where we already have issues. But that's, to me, where I would start working emotionally and energetically, no matter what the doctors want to do. that this is where we need some more release. We need some more work there. And as you start working there, the other things will start to, come undone, if you will. And you're not going to freak out. You're going to be fine. It's just there needs to be some really pinpoint kind of energy to healing for that part of your life.
Okay. Thank you.
Makes sense, love? Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Hey, you stand up, face due north. More than anything, I want to take out the fear of you going, okay?
Okay.
So if you're standing due north now, strong mountain pose and go in yoga, you can just say, I'm afraid of going to the doctors this week. It's going to pull you forward for yes.
I'm afraid of going to the doctors this week.
You'll feel a lean forward, and we're going to release it, resolve it, delete and erase it. Have her learn all the lessons she needed to from this fear. Release her from the service to it. Pull her straight back when you're done. Thank you. You'll feel a wave, and then it's going to pull you straight back. Love it. So let's see what happens now, love. And you just got to go power through these things, And sometimes, my mentors and friends used to say, gosh, if you have something hanging off your elbow, don't come to me, get it cut off. But I definitely would do all the emotional and spiritual work along with it, I feel like they'll get to the bottom of it. You're probably looking at a needle biopsy now, they're saying, whispering in my ear. And then they'll figure that out and go from there, okay? But I wouldn't live in fear till then. I would be like Lee would say, the fearless path, and just realize that, you're going to rise above this and stay out of the fear of the doctor. But you've got an incredible amount of emotional support on the other side, they're saying, too. And this definitely right side for me would stem to that issue with Dad and that sort of thing. So you've got a lot going on in that arena as well. So reach out if we can help you in any way, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Take care, love. Yeah, and I like graviola for that sort of thing, too. It's, a really good herb kind of tonic thing. People can look into graviola. It's sour sop. You could Google all day long, natural breast cancer healing remedies. People got about own cancer and delete it and get rid of it. I don't whisper it anymore. My mother used to say cancer, really quiet. Like you said that, it would be better. And my favorite story to tell about my mother was she had breast cancer, and I went through surgery with her, and I held back her hair, and she had allergies to the painkillers and throwing up in a bucket in the middle of the hospital, that kind of thing in her bed, and just like it was awful. What a horrible experience to go through and watch your mother go through. But my mother's resilient and she's tough. She'll be 90 Christmas Day that's coming. And I'll never forget, Lee, as a woman, you'd appreciate this. We went to the radiation oncology guy, and he said, this is after she got surgery, he said, if you don't do radiation and chemo, you won't make it a year. And my mother leaned into him and said, we'll see.
Wow, good for her.
Right? And that was 25 years ago. So there you go. So she's still alive, and everything's good. So as I like to say, your results may vary, folks, but that's what can happen, the power of positive thinking and the prayer and being fearless in these ways. So outstanding. Yeah, great insight on your behalf, too. That's all the same type of thing I was picking up on. So that's really, really good. Hey, 727, you're our next caller. What's your name? I have an idea where you're calling from, Tampa Bay.
Well, hi, Jimmy Mack. It's Kathy. How are you?
Good, Kathy. How are you? Did you have a question for Lee?
I do have a question for Lee. I feel like I just keep doing all the things that work, and they seem to work, and then they just seem to go away. So my question is, like, some of the manifestations have just been, like, amazing, and then it's like things come to fruition, and then they just, blow up, kind of an understatement. So I feel like I've done so much spiritual work, and I'm saying to myself, my whole life really unraveled in an unbelievable way. And I'm saying, why? What's going on? So
sometimes when that happens, I say, why not? We have these expectations. This is like the epitome to me of fear, and I get it. I'm actually going through a phase right now in my life where everything's kind of moving away from me. It's a great clearing is what I'm calling it. And it's, we have this idea a lot in our minds, and especially in our society and our teaching and so forth, that things are supposed to be a certain way, and if I do this, I can expect that. And while some of that is true, there's also the greater truth of all things. And so one thing when you were telling me the first part about how you draw so many things and then it kind of like drops out of your hands, it's almost like hot potato. It's like you have this faith and belief to get what you need, and then the fear comes up like like it's just too hot to even hold. And that's the vision that I kept seeing. So in that instance, I would certainly work on some grounding techniques for you, and also some solar plexus. I don't know if you know much about the chakras or not, but just some of that solar plexus self-worth stuff, it essentially leads back to shame. But then beyond that is just having, trying to get a little bit of a wider perspective. And when I say why not, the question of why, ask why not. And in other words, if we don't allow the transformation, then we'll always be stuck in this pattern. And so we're saying we don't want to be stuck in this pattern, but we don't want it all to change on the other hand. Life is about change, and so you're certainly going through a lot of kind of fast-moving, transitions. And it can be difficult to manage, but that's why I say first let's get grounded and stabilized and recognize the work on the fear, and then start allowing, maybe having a little more expectation for that change and seeing it as a positive in your evolution instead of a fear of what's wrong with you. You see what I mean?
I do see. And, when my landlady unexpectedly, after almost 7 years, gave me 6 weeks notice and said, I think I want the condo back. And then I ended up moving in with the man I was dating for almost 5 years, who said, actually, I don't want this relationship anymore. So I'm living at his house, and he doesn't want this relationship. And, it's just been,
it's a lot.
And it was fine.
And it was
so
what?
And it was fine. I was happy really to have that said out loud and move forward and, just be here temporarily. And I put my stuff in storage and said, maybe I'll just travel the world if only my passport hadn't expired. So, it's just been everything. Selling the car.
No, I totally get it. Yep, I totally get it. And it's like sometimes we're asked to move even if we don't feel comfortable with it, or if we don't want it, or we don't know what to do next. And then all of these things, the presentations in our life don't seem to be quite there. That's just our stuff. That's just our stuff to get ready, to prepare, to continue to remind us to be ready and prepared, to be good stewards of what we have and what we want to do. So it's all there for you, and you can do whatever you want, but it is interesting, right? That it kind of does reflect back in the core into that solar plexus, kind of that core identity and worth and value for you. And now it's going to be about what your value and worth and what you want to do. And it's a time of grief and change and transformation, but that's why I said you have to change that perspective to why not? Why not? And that can be a good question, a really good question. Like, why not? Let's do this. Why not?
Well, I take Jimmy Mack's wisdom of changing things, which he loves to say, don't ask those damn questions. Change what you don't want. And I feel I've done that as well, and had some true miracles with finding the money to move on a miracle level, and all kinds of great things. And that's why I keep standing back and saying, wow, so many great things happen. What about this muck? And, I looked upon this move as, okay, I didn't sit around crying that my penthouse condo overlooking the Gulf was gone, and it's okay. And I'm enjoying my life. And people ask me, why aren't you more miserable? And it's like, okay, I'm having the best day of my life, and I mean that with sincerity. and I'm seeing my dolphins and my rainbows, and it's just a little different perspective. So
Yeah.
that's what I mean. The attitude I feel is good. And, you know, it's like, okay, my stuff's in storage. I looked upon it as temporary, and I have my 2 suitcases, and I can go wherever I want in the world. So
yeah, that's wonderful. You're really gifted that way. So many people are stuck. You know, they have the opposite thing going on, and you're free. So that's a beautiful thing.
I do feel free. And, you know, putting your stuff in storage, I went to Arizona, and it was fantastic. I said it was the most freeing moment of my life, is to take 2 suitcases and just head west. No job, no nothing. that was 10 years ago. So, you know, I feel I'm kind of there again, and, you know, so many great things opened up. So I was just, you know, kind of wondering what's going on. Why does it keep
I think it's just a lot of,
perpetuating?
you know, some of us are more, you know, we go through phases, some of us, and other people are just more, I think, in the kind of travel, you know, like I see, like the travel zone, if you will, you know, where we were meant to be mobile, where we're meant to keep going through these transitions, kind of like a, you know, a bird going from the treetop to treetop to treetop. And sometimes I can feel a little unsteady because we don't have that grounding. And that's why I'm suggesting just keep focusing on that, but allowing yourself, you know, to experience and have this opportunity and to change through it, you know, and just allow the change to keep rolling through it. But don't forget to do your self-care work, because there is some of that self-worth stuff tied into all this. And that will also keep you grounded as well. You know, keep finding your value, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, no matter what your job is or how much money you have or whatever, you know, tying back into that self-worth and the shame stuff that we all carry. And when sometimes we're asked to move out or move on, it can kind of a little bit, you know. So I would work there for sure.
Well, thanks. If Jimmy Mack can throw one of his whammies on me,
I
I'd
would.
love that.
I'd stand up, because you actually test when I ask Spirit. You're like bewildered and upset. So it's almost like you're shaking your fist at employers and administrative people and that sort of thing. So if you just want to stand up, face due north, you'll, if you just even pause with the thought of upset and bewildered at the powers that be. That's like the root cause of all this stuff. So they're just giving you more reason to be upset and bewildered at the powers that be. So that's going to pull you
falling
forward.
Over.
Yeah.
Yes.
So delete it, release and resolve it, erase it for her, have her learn all the lessons she needed to from it, and release her from the service to it. Thank you. And you'll feel a wave, and then we'll pull you straight back when it's done and bring you back to
neutral. I'm like falling over.
Yeah. Release all that. It's leaving. You'll feel that wave, and then it's going to bring you back and pull you backwards. Take it out. They're just going in and finding that little weird spot. And we don't have to know every little thing. We just want to change it. Take all that out for you now.
Yes.
Feel it moving backwards.
Yeah, it's moving me back and forth.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I'm not a U2 fan. Sandy Bittinger is my social media, all-knowing work wife guru that handles my back end of all my stuff. But they have a song called Vertigo. So if you ever go on YouTube and watch Vertigo, that video of the band U2, and all the black stuff is flying off the back of them, and that's what this looks like energetically to me. So we're getting rid of that, and Lee, apropos, brought up shame and issues with all that. We're just going to delete all that too. And it's going to pull, and then bring you back to neutral once it shifts. But that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it feels like dizzy and nauseous. Oof.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's leaving.
Thank you.
You're welcome, love. Yeah, that's going to feel different. So this just gives you a clean slate, if you will, to go out and do stuff. You know, you have to make your job, as it were, find another job, find another position, whatever you're called to do next. And I encourage people, get her book, The Fearless Path, Lee Guy, and also I would go to YouTube and listen to Les Brown. I love Eric Thomas. I love Grant Cardone. These are people that are pumped up about life and really go, transformational, and that's what I love. So anybody that, rather than telling you about it, it impresses me when they can see it and do it, just like Lee could, So that's what we love.
Well,
okay?
I love Grant Cardone. I just recently read his book and listened to a bunch of his YouTubes and starting this new company, The Tides of Green Change. That's the new company's name.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. Yeah, he's a dream. That dude tells it like it is, so I love that. So for those of you who haven't heard of him, Les Brown, of course, in the movie The Secret. Eric Thomas is amazing. They both came from nothing. Grant Cardone came from nothing, really, and built an empire.
Yes.
So just impressive stuff. It's really excited about life. So stay in that place, and more of that will show up. Okay, love?
Oh, thank you so much, Jimmy Mack. I love you, and thank you, Lee.
Hey.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Bye.
luck.
Love you, too. Have a great fourth. Thank you.
You too. Bye, Jimmy. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
818. Hi, 818's our next caller, Carolyn from California. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing fine. Hi, Lee. Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, how are you?
All right. I have a question. I had on Saturday, my right foot felt like it was swelling. It was hurting really bad, but it wasn't swelling, so I guess it was swelling inside. And it's been hurting for 3 days. I got some Advil gel medicine, and so the pain is gone. I'm going to go to the doctor in the morning. I wanted to know, what is the root cause of this happening to my right foot?
Jimmy, you want to go first on this one?
Oh, sure. I don't mind. Yeah. Carolyn, when I tap into it, it's really about circulation more than anything. I got a awesome chiropractor I go to at least once a month to yank stuff around in place. It feels like, even believe it or not, it sounds crazy to me, but that's spirit for you. It's like you slept on it wrong. Does that make sense? Have you had some restless nights lately?
Yes, I have. I probably sleep on it.
I'm telling you, that's what it is. And this is about circulation. I'd go to a good chiropractor and get that thing yanked 8 ways to Sunday and pull back into place. And when I asked them, it isn't so much about your leg as it's low back. It's a pinched nerve. So stand up, face due north. Let's get rid of it for you, okay?
Okay. Wait a
Nice.
minute, I'm trying to get...
Yeah. I'm sure it's hard to even get up. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like sciatic, too. Yeah, sciatic pain looks like an electrician jumped a whole bunch of cords through your hip. And so that's what you got on. And so if it gets pinched on the back end, it causes a little, they call it sciatic pain. So that's really what that is, a little pinched electrical cord, if you will, in simplistic terms. So I don't see it as leg as much as low back. And if you just say I have a weakness in my low back and sciatic area, it'll pull you straight forward.
Okay, I have a weakness in my low back and I forgot what you just said.
Sciatic.
And, pain.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going forward, yes.
Let's release that, resolve it forward, disentangle and uncollapse it. Take it all out now. Have her learn all the lessons from this. Pull her straight back when you're done. Release her from the service too. Good. And so now if we say again, I have weakness in my low back, it'll pull you straight backwards.
Okay, I have weakness in my low back, and I'm going backwards. Okay,
love it. And let's just make sure you have positive strength as well, because you can lose your way on both of them. There's only positive strength in my low back.
There's positive strength in my low back. It's going down. I mean back. Okay, that's why I told you could have both. You see what I mean? So now we're going to put only positive strength in the low back. And when I ask bone, cartilage, muscle, ligament, tendon, joint, it's all joint pain too, by the way. So we're going to strengthen the joints now. And I just changed it. It's going to pull you straight forward when it's positive strength in low back. It went forward.
Yep, and then it'll pull you back to neutral once it's filled up, love. Okay,
let me see. You said it's supposed to pull me back too? Okay, let's see.
Well, it's going to pull you back to neutral once it's through filling you up going forward.
Oh, yes, it did pull me back.
Yeah.
Last week I called and you told me you saw pain in a leg or something. I said, no pain right now. It's Saturday morning. Okay.
Yeah,
I used to do a lot of body. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Lee?
I was just saying, I used to do a lot of body work, and in addition to what he's saying, because I agree with the circulation and the sciatica, there's a point on your mid-back. It's low back, but it's up kind of at the base of your ribs on your right side, between your spine and the side of your body. If you go to the chiropractor or whoever can help you with this, and I would as well, but make sure that he adjusts like that mid-back region right there near where your rib is. There's an adjustment there, and on the side of your hip to release some of that pressure around the sciatica. Also, I'm getting a hit on the liver, just as a like the liver is a little compromised. I don't know if it's from diet or maybe some medicine that you've been taking or something, but releasing some work around the liver, which also helps release some anger and so forth.
Release, okay. I haven't. I have going to ask the chiropractor to go near
the low back, mid low back area. Yep, and the side hip. Yes.
Yeah. And again, and I pick up it as prescription stuff when she speaks of liver. Liver is often anger, but you got a lot of resentment. So it's latent resentment, they said. And again, can be a chiropractor, really good massage therapist, cranial sacral. I love. So that would work. Any number of different body workers, that's great. People that are used to doing this. I've got great acupuncture friends, and they're awesome at doing backs. So who knew? And they're moving all around, right? So whatever works for you, Carolyn. Okay?
I'm going to try everything, I think. All right, thank you both.
Yeah. Thank you for
valuable.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. 925, you're our next caller. Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jimmy and Leah. This is Teresa, and I'm calling from California.
Hi.
Hey, Teresa.
So,
you have a question for Lee?
I do. I've had to go off of hormones, and my hot flashes are through the roof.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Help. You know what? There's this wonderful Indian herb, and it's hard to spell. So do you have a pen nearby?
I do.
Okay. Shatavari. 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 It's a hormone adjuster, but I would start on that. Now, it's going to be a little bit where are you? It's going to be a little bit mild at first, but, you can up the dosage. And it's an effective hormone balancer in general. But for more specific work, where are you in California?
Near Oakland, Berkeley.
Oakland. Okay, you're a little bit north. There's also on Dr. Chi. I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Chi. He's got a great supplement, and it's going to come to me in just a second. But if you Google Dr. Chi, a hormone supplement, that one would also be effective for you in conjunction with the Shatavari. Okay. You're also, dealing with a lot of the emotional charge and a meditation practice where you can start to ground some of that emotional energy. So what's happening is, in these hot flashes in this transition in your life, there's a lot of this kind of emotional energy that's flying all over the place. It just has nowhere to go. It's like lightning that's come down and it can't get grounded. You know what I'm saying? So that practice for you is going to be really helpful. And one way that I like to do it, and I shouldn't have said lightning because I'm about to say water. I don't want you to think you're going to get electrocuted here. But, putting your feet in some in either sea salt, in bowls of sea salt, or kind of like lukewarm water with sea salt, and during like this meditation and imagining like these lightning strikes of that emotional energy just getting grounded and moving out of your body. So that's just a good practice that you can do in general, okay? Because that's a lot of what's going on here. There's a lot of not resentment. It's like a unresolved, haven't finished some business in a way, like that I feel that's flying around, and it's kind of tacked on to these hormonal surges. I don't know if that makes sense for you, but so getting yourself, where you can ground some of that emotional energy, balance the hormones, and also balancing that body system in particular of. Are you doing like dairy and things like that? Are you consuming dairy in your diet and sugar?
I try and stay away from dairy because it doesn't really agree with me.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. Yeah.
No, but sugar is like I have to get over this hump. It's like heroin.
I know. Yeah. So this dairy sugar thing for you is like, ooh, it's really sending you, and almost like an addictive pattern, like you said, heroin.
Yes.
But and it's attached to a lot of these neurons and that free-flying emotional stuff that's going on, and it makes you feel crazy.
I don't know how to kick sugar. I did a long time ago, and I didn't have sugar for a long time. It didn't bother me. I didn't crave anything with sugar, and then I started, and it's so hard to break. It is so hard.
I know. Well, again, it's also attached, like I said, to those that emotional space in you that feels that unresolved. It's like you're grappling for something. You're trying to grasp something. Every time you get that sugar high in there, it fires off those neurons, and then you get that whole circulation going again, which is familiar, and your body's surging it and craving it, And now with this hormonal issue at play, it's kind of like a tornado going on inside. So one thing you can do just physically and nutritionally is, really increase your proteins and your fats, like your really high fats, like the coconut, the avocado, the nuts, increase your fats. Your body's basically not satiated. And your brain's like, feed me, because your body's not satiated at all. And again, combine that with the hormonal imbalance, and it's just like a tornado. So we want to get your body satiated, and we get your emotional stability rooted, And I think that's going to help you a lot. And try those herbs. Jimmy, what more do you have?
Yeah, I would say also I love the Himalayan stuff, and that's the Shatavari she's referring to. It's Shattavari. So people need to, know about that. A lot of the stuff you can get from India, believe it or not. I love eBay, and they're called little tubs. Excuse me. And this has been around, the Himalayan stuff, since I think 1930. It's pharmaceutical grade herbs and vitamins and minerals. But if you go on eBay and even look that up, it's on Amazon. It's everywhere. That would go a long way to help her. Yeah, she definitely needs to kind of double down on all that. 3 a day, they're saying. So, like one of the Shatawaris after breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Stand up if you want to feel the energy. And if you face due north, love. And you can we'll put sugar above your head. It's going to pull you straight back. You're almost allergic to sugar. Dr. Phil had a great picture of the brain. He had one of heroin and one of sugar, and they look the same. But if you think of sugar real quick, you'll feel a pull back or a weakness. Feel that? And so we're going to strengthen you, like in between you and sugar and your sugar cravings. It's going to pull you straight forward. You'll feel a shift. That's just strengthening you as far as that. You show allergic to your own blood sugar, by the way, so that's devastating. So while we're there going forward, I'm going to delete it, release and resolve it, erase it up into the void. And you'll feel like you're getting pulled all over the place. It'll pull you straight back when it leaves. And you test for allergies to self and allergies to blood sugar. And so it's like you can't get enough of that. Feel that wave? Yeah.
Yes.
It's wild, I know. Yep, I do it all day long. It's crazy. And then it'll drop you off back in neutrality once we're done. And this is just me talking to your people.
Do either of you think that, now I've been told, black cohosh, and I've been taking black cohosh, but...
Well, I think it's more for menstruation stuff than anything else. I don't think it's a great hormone balancer. It tests weak on hormonal balancing. It tests fabulous on, violent menstruation. 80% of my clients are women, and I have to hear about that every day of my life. You know, I'm like the freelance OBGYN from outer space, right?
Right.
But I'm telling you, yeah, that's fine for menstruation. People that are having 2 weeks out of the month of bleeding and, you know, my period's coming. It's like, that's horrific, right? But black cohosh can really take the edge off that. This shot of Ari is more in line with what she needs, and that's very apropos from you, because that's really what shows up as a hormone balancer. But sugar is going to constantly, you could read the book Sugar Blues, get her book, you guys' book, The Fearless Path, because right now you're letting sugar dominate your life and really control you almost like a drug. So, you know, again, you know, there's prescription drugs, drugs. I mean, you know, alcohol, cigarettes, everybody's got their thing, you know, but you're going to want to dial back down off sugar. I would go with 70% carob kind of candy bars, that sort of thing. Start going higher in your cocoa, where you just satiate a little bit. I'll have even the bulletproof kind of coffee in the morning, and I'll put a little tiny piece of the butter in there from Ireland, and also coconut oil. You'd be surprised how sweet it all tastes, and there's no sugar in it, you know. But you want to kind of trick yourself into these types of things. I'm never big on cutting off entirely, but we need to switch you out of, you know, Three Musketeers into, you know, any grocery store is going to have a 70% carob-filled chocolate bar. And so I would ease off in that direction. Okay, well, that's why they're talking about it. It's your people, so I'm just letting you know. So, you know, more of that, please, instead of, you know, and even coconut tastes great for you. So some carob with some shaved coconut, doesn't that sound nice? Just stay out of the super processed stuff like, you know, Leah mentioned. Okay? And if you reach out to me, I'll help any way I can, love. It's info@jimmymackhealing.com. So, okay?
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Have
calling.
a nice 4th.
Okay. You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Folks, the book is called The Fearless Path with Lee Guy. Tell them how to get a hold of you again, Lee Guy. I love it.
You can find me at modernsage.com or at leahguy.com, LEAHGUY. And the book is available Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, everywhere. So, or ordered if you're in a small bookstore. Yeah.
Hey, addiction is near and dear to my heart. My brother was gorgeous. I tell everybody he looked like Tom Cruise, only taller and without all the money. And the women just clung to him as he walked down the street. But, of course, he would, you know, do drugs and alcohol. And we, you know, found him. He OD'd in our home, 28 years old, gorgeous. I've worked with Ken Seeley, who has the show 911 Intervention on cable, of course, and a lot of different people on addiction. Touch on that for a minute and what your experience has been. And
yeah, well, like you just said with the previous caller, you know, addiction is addiction. It doesn't matter what the addiction is. It's that wired circuit, you know, that happens between, I see it as a circuit between the brain, the heart, and the soul, you know, and the physical body is just the trap that kind of traps it all together there. You know, is it a disease? Yes, as are all things diseases when we're just discomfortable, diseased within ourselves. And when we get so imbalanced, this is why I'm so passionate about not just balance, like, oh, you know, make sure you have your veggies, your meat, and your starch or whatever, but really balancing. We talk about holistic health so much, but nobody is really concerned about balancing the call of the soul with the temperament of the mind and the desires of the heart, you know. And it's like, how do we live and balance those things while we're in this physical capsule here? And if we can find that, if we can be authentic and true to those things, then I think we have a chance of being free from addictions. You know, but it doesn't just happen because we say we want it to happen, you know, especially once we get a taste of something that frees us from an affliction in our mind or our heart or our spirit. So, you know, it's brutal. Addiction is tough stuff. I mean, myself, I've been addicted to the lighter stuff. Also, you know, cigarettes, alcohol, sugars, that kind of thing. Luckily, it didn't go all the way to the drugs.
Right.
Just I'm afraid of them, you know. If anything, that's why I didn't. But, you know, ultimately underneath it, though, it's the same kind of mind, heart, and soul disconnection that goes on with any malady in our being, which is not able and not, it's not able to grasp and utilize the higher self because of the pain that we feel in this physicalness. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of resources. There's you, there's me, there's a lot of people like us, but in the mainstream and out in the schools and out in the hospitals, they're not there. And I just think there's so much work that can be done with energy, with the mind, and in particular with helping resolve some of these deep-seated pains. Even being bullied as a child can lead to such severe OCD, ADD, addictions, self-mutilation, so many things. Because a child that's 5 years old can't process. They can process what happened, and the parents take care of the bully, or they all have a fight or whatever, and somebody gets expelled from school. But who's taking care of the kid that has those deep emotions of why, am I flawed? Am I ugly? Do I suck? Why am I here? Why are they hurting me? And that's where it starts, and it's not just being bullied, it's being shamed, it's being embarrassed, it's being, turned down. So I too, Jimmy, I have a real passion for people who struggle with addiction and those who love people who struggle with addiction. And we're all addicted to some point, to some degree, to something, So it's all of us.
Mine's blonde hair and blue eyes and 26 years old. So there you go. We all got something. But yeah, I hear you.
I know.
So it's all good. Hey, I really appreciate you being on the show today. Folks, the book is The Fearless Path. I'm looking at it. Even the cover's gorgeous. It's very easy reading. It's not physics, people. And you're going to get a lot out of this book. So I'd encourage you to pick it up today wherever you buy books. And Lee Guy, give them the website one last time, and we'll sign off.
Yep, you can go to modernsage.com or leahguy.com.
Love that. Folks, I'd encourage you to get with her. Check out all the stuff, especially the books, perhaps a reading, whatever you're moved to do by spirit. We're all here as guideposts and helpers and the way showers for you. And I want to thank you for being on the show today, Lee. And,
thanks so much. It's great being here.
Come back one day. We had fun. I love it. So to me, it's fun and just keeping things stirred up. This is part of really what we do for others and our contribution, if you will. So everybody, thanks for tuning in today. We're going to sign off here and just let you know, I would like for the rest of your life to be the best of your life, and remember to make progress every day. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Check out our hot deals on fishing, hunting, and shooting gear during Cabela's summer clearance. Get your family ready for a day on the water with 40% off all in-stock adult and youth flotation vests and savings on rods, reels, and tackle. Upgrade your optics to a Vortex with $500 off their Razor HD spotting scope and $80 off their Crossfire 2 rifle scope. Plus, we've got savings on select ammo and reloading accessories. There's something for everybody during Cabela's summer clearance going on now. Check out our hot deals on fishing, hunting, and shooting gear during Cabela's summer clearance. Get your family ready for a day on the water with 40% off all in-stock adult and youth flotation vests and savings on rods, reels, and tackle. Upgrade your optics to a Vortex with $500 off their Razor HD spotting scope and $80 off their Crossfire 2 rifle scope. Plus, we've got savings on select ammo and reloading accessories. There's something for everybody during Cabela's summer clearance going on now.